it breaks my heart to see that how men are just so unfairly treated in this world. Not that they're unfairly treated, but they have lost their essence. And today is Men's Day, 19th of November. So first of all, I want to congratulate all the men and every man who may be watching this video. Uh, Being a man is not easy in today's world because the demands of the world are so can be so extreme. But most importantly is that most men are emotionally neglected. When you grow up with parents in an environment where people think of you that you're supposed to be a strong man, you're supposed to like not feel your feelings, you're supposed to be a man, and your needs are not met. You're not given the same amount of emotional care and presence that maybe a girl often can receive. And then on top of that, you have these desires to fulfill your parents' demands, the environment's expectations. You're supposed to grow up before you even grow up. You're supposed to become an engineer and a doctor before you even actually become a proper teenager. It can be really burdening, and I speak from experience. And what I want to say is that currently, a lot of women say that, you know what, men are not good, men are not amazing. Most men want only one thing. There are not good men out there. Well, first of all, if a woman is watching this, if you are saying that, I guarantee you, you can even go to heaven or you go anywhere, you will never find a proper man because this is what you're repeatedly saying and you become what you say. This is the reality you're creating. So, literally diminish this thought if you really want to attract a loving, beautiful, grounded partner in a form of a man. And when it comes to men, we need to understand that we are human and human are energetical beings and we also have emotions. One of the biggest reasons men are struggling is because they are not emotionally available to themselves because their emotional needs have never been met. And there are a lot of emotional wounds we are carrying. So, most men, what they do to cope with their emotional wounds, they become tough and strong. So, they don't let anyone to enter in their emotional space. Or they start escaping their emotions in the form of stimulants, porn, big issues right now, drugs, sex. Or some men, they also start coping while becoming high achieving. Huge success, huge money, but wounded inside. And you can literally feel from someone's body energy how emotionally mature and grown they are. Just because they have things going on for them doesn't mean they're emotionally grown. You can see from the body language. And a man is actually really spiritually and mentally grown if he has no desire to prove anyone, if he has no revenge to take from anyone, if he is ready to serve others without wanting to prove himself, without wanting to have anything back. If he can make women safe around him, that's such a strong quality of an emotionally mature, grounded man who is living his life with purpose. And that is not there because most men have not been shown these examples. So I don't blame them. And then most women nowadays, I don't blame them either. They're expecting men to, be there, caring for them, listen to them, meet their needs, uh, and then they blame this man, then they criticize this man. But that's not the right way. I mean, if you're a woman listening to this, I respect and honor your feelings. I know women are more emotional, men can be more logical. But most men cannot or are not able to give it to you because they don't have it themselves. They have not been given what you're asking from them. So it's not about that they are cruel or they're not nice. It's just that they have not what you want them to give you. And maybe you can give them empathy, maybe you can give them emotional support, right? Like, I remember for most of my life, I mean, my dad has been my example when it comes to dealing with the world and success, but emotionally, he was unavailable. He could just never sit with us to discuss our emotions. You could just never be present. So I grew up watching him, and that's what I craved. Not what I became. I craved. Because I have not been an avoidantly attached man. I have been an anxiously attached man, which can be a rarity. But if you really look into it, very like a lot of men are actually anxiously attached. It's just that they cope up through toughness and strength, but they're actually attached. Like they can chase, they can they want, they need warmth and love and care, but unfortunately our logical brains can come in the play. So right now we're just like wounded boys in adult bodies who are having a relationship with women and not able to give the women the men they want, to hold them, to lead them, to serve them. And then we go with our lives acting in this way, literally struggling, suffering throughout our entire lives, just trying to find ourselves. But instead of finding ourselves, we are losing ourselves to fulfill others' demands and expectations. And then once you form a self image that, what, I will only be protected from pain if I'm tough, if I'm strong, if I don't listen to people's emotions, if I don't become emotionally vulnerable. Because most men, believe it or not, believe that expressing emotions is a sign of weakness. It takes a very strong man to really say and honor that expressing emotions, feeling emotions is a sign of absolute strength. All right? Because it requires a man to detach from his identity that being emotional makes him weak, which is a very tough thing I personally have to go through. So we are living in a generation where men are not men. They're just basically wounded boys in adult bodies. And they need love, they need guidance, they need protection. Even the grown up men, when I talk with grown up men who are 25, 30, 35, 40, I talk about my issues, vulnerabilities. I talk about how I struggle with porn. I talk about how it was hard for me. I talk about all these things. I want to be real and vulnerable with them so they can feel safe to express their issues. And believe it or not, every man expressed to me they struggle with porn, they're struggling with finding a partner, they're struggling with accepting themselves, they're struggling with managing their emotions. They are used to having some sort of addiction like porn, maybe drugs, maybe like stimulants, maybe alcohol or smoking. That's the kind of culture we need to create. Because if you want to have a healthy, purposeful, high performing life and relationships, we need grounded, healthy men. And they will be created once we provide that environment. They're not going to come and jump from the heaven to be here. We need to create our own heaven by letting go of the hell we've been carrying from the childhood. And that's one of my big missions, to help men and women release emotional blocks so they can feel emotionally stable and have emotionally available relationships while having a peak high performing health and career on the way. So that's my mission, and I want to invite you to please come and join my webinar where I will show you how to do that. And if you really like this video, please go and share, because that is my real genuine desire to help many men. Because there are so many women coaches, but not enough men coaches. So we need to help men, and that's not weakness. That is actually acting on the strength, acting on the purpose, and addressing what's real instead of bypassing that it's not good. Men are emotionally insensitive, emotionally unavailable because they have not been shown the right example, and we can do that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.